Hey everybody, welcome to Growth Minded Contractor. I'm your host Ryan Groth, and I have an amazing couple of guests today. And we have the number 26 in the country in the top 100 roofing contractor list, $67 million company, Kpost Roofing out of Dallas. So I'm just really excited to have these guys on today. They're going to share the secret sauce of what's helped Kpost become the most well-recognized companies, not only in Texas, but even nationally as a brand. That everybody looks up to, many do. And so I'm excited to have these guys share today. So Steve Little and Keith Post, welcome to the show today. Glad you're here.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So let's talk a little bit about who you guys are. Talk about Kpost. You guys are doing 67, 70 million a year. You've been there for multiple years. You've been on the top 100 roofing list for multiple years in a row. But it's not like you're a fourth generation company. You guys started this not that long ago in retrospect to how big you are. I'd love to hear a little bit about the founding story. Just kind of give us a little bit about an idea of who Kpost is, what you guys are doing. And then we're going to organically kind of lean into some, different parts of your business and how your growth mindedness has helped you guys get to where you are today. So give us a little story of who you guys are and your role in the company, how it all kind of started, and what you guys do at Kpost.
How did we start this thing?
We met at a previous company and got to work together for 2 or 3 years. I had been in the industry for 20 plus years before that. So probably had a little bit more roofing knowledge. And Steve came along and we became instant partners. We think a lot alike. We're very sales driven. And the service was always the foundation of what we started with. And we always felt like we had to have an outside sales force. It could be your typical roofing contractor of America. We had to be something a little different. And we've stuck to those roots, and it's been successful.
We have a good balance. Keith and I are very optimistic in life. And when you have people like that, it's good to have somebody to ground you. So Jane Williams was our CFO, and she helped us. The three of us started the company, and it just kind of went crazy from there. I think that one of our philosophies was having a company that was followed an integrity mindset. Is that family-oriented business, God-fearing company, high integrity, always do the right thing, even though it may cost more or it takes longer to get there. And that's been really one of our pillars of success.
Yeah, I've been in your office a few times. Excited to be in there more, and I do feel that family environment there. It feels at home. It feels very cozy, but not too comfortable because there's work to be done. But it feels very welcoming. And I got a couple questions about the partnership. How did you know you're instant partners? What happened? Was it partner at first sight? Like what happened? Like what was the story there?
Well, at the prior company, I had 2 other partners, and we brought Steve in to basically run the company, and the 3 partners ran divisions of the company. And
we connected
pretty fast. We were very sales driven, and so
but we were business minded too.
We were very business, and we were strategic.
Right.
Everything we looked at, we would turn it inside out. And is it going to work? Not going to work? What's going to happen when it doesn't work? What's our plan B? And but never looking back. Everything that happened yesterday is gone. It was always we're going forward, we're growing, and that's been what we've been since day one. And every year we've grown.
Yeah, it's like a marriage. I mean, it's a long-term thought process, not a short-term thought process. We started a residential division 6 years ago, and one of the things that Matt James, our senior VP that runs that, said to us was that you guys don't look to bleed the company. I've been involved in companies where the owners take a lot of money out of it. You're constantly putting stuff back into it. And I think that we've always done that with our relationship, that we're always putting stuff back into it. We're always building on it. If we have something that's going on and we need to get it out, we go behind closed doors and we get it out, it stops there. If we don't get it done during the day, we meet first thing in the morning because we don't want to carry anything over 24 hours.
Mm.
We've been blessed enough to build this company to almost 400 families, and we know we have a huge responsibility to those families and they have to their families. And so, if it's some four multiple, you've got 1,600, 2,000 people that we actually touch on a daily basis that we're responsible for. So we can't have any stuff going on between us because we've got to make sure that we keep things going for everybody.
It's a good marriage. Probably you ask our wives, it's a better marriage some days than at home because we don't allow stuff to fester. Tomorrow's a new day, and you know what? Somebody won the battle, or you agree to just make a truce, and we move forward. And the ultimate goal is to grow the company and have great people. And I would bet you if you walk through our halls and ask to a person, is this one of the best places they ever worked? And they'll tell you yes.
Knock on wood.
They just do. I mean, we lead by that way. We treat people the same way we want to be treated. We're fair. Integrity is everything. If you don't have it, you're not here.
We've said that we don't ask anybody to do something that we haven't done, and that's a tough thing for me because I've not been on the roof working in the roofing business where traditionally partners to get together, they've both been on the roof, they both had something to really grow the company from, or in a generational company, a son or daughter came up in the business. We didn't have any of that. I brought business experience from other industries to the party. You brought the construction industry to the party. Jane brought the financial wherewithal to the party, and the three of us put it together and made it go happen. And then today, we focus on sustainability. You mentioned at the top of the show that we had a $67 million year and we were 26. Well, that just makes me chew, glass in my mouth when I hear you say that. We should be very proud and pounding on our chest. But the reality is 26 is the highest we've ever been. Or like I said, the lowest we've ever been in the deal. We're always in the 18, 19, 22 range, something like that. Well, the COVID and supply chain issue just kicked our butts in 21 like it kicked a lot of our fellow brethren. And I know there's some folks that are down in the 30s and the 40s, and they were up in the 20s before. So you'll have a different number to say if we chat about this next year, Ryan.
I know it will happen. I know that's the case. So a couple things about you guys I just want to bring out and highlight. You're very optimistic couple. Like I love you said that we're both very optimistic and I feel that energy from both of you is just we're gonna win. We'll always find a way to win, and we're going to find a solution. And I feel like I see that with you two and your company differently than most. It sticks out. It's a superpower. You guys is like we don't let negativity hang out in our house for like at all at a very long, and then we find something positive. You talk about some creative ways that you're optimistic has helped the genius in you create new solutions to remain resilient, to continue to grow, and not let the challenges actually hurt you and set you back, but actually created opportunity for you. You guys are really good at that. I think as a partnership, I'm sure you've done that hundreds of times over these 16 years or 20 years you guys have been in business. I'm sure it's hundreds, maybe thousands of times. Give me some highlights. If I did a highlight reel of, dude, you would not believe what we had to come up with in this situation, and we did, and look what happened to our business. Give us some examples of the creativity that's birthed out of optimism.
Team. It's team before self, and we preach that. And being an entrepreneur and being able to start a business from zero revenue and grow it to where we are today, we run into a lot of issues, a lot of roadblocks, and every roadblock was an opportunity for us. We saw that roadblock. We said, you know what? We've got to get around it. We've got to get over it, under it, around it somehow. And so we go to our team, and it's amazing when you push your team. We're very fortunate that we're structured kind of like a general contractor in a way, because we have a large project management staff. We have an outside sales force. We have our own estimating team, and we have an operational team, and it's divided into multiple divisions. So you have specialists everywhere. And so sitting in our seats, when we attack any kind of a problem, it's no longer a problem, it's an opportunity. and we always think that way. We don't like to lose. We're real bad losers. We don't like to lose. But if we lose, it's gone. We're going to the next thing. So
very quickly.
Yeah, optimistically, I don't know. There's too many people that think as positive as we do, and you'll ask our team, because that's probably one of the traits that they love about the two of us. And like I said, we never fight. If we fight, it's done and it's over today. And tomorrow we're attacking whatever we had to attack or what we didn't leave on the table. So it's the best marriage I've ever had.
Well, I have to share with you that if you ask the team, they probably say we fight. Okay, but what they do say is that we make up very quickly, and that we have the focus of the organization and the team in mind. Ryan, you asked for a couple of examples, and Keith's going to laugh when I talk about this, but our very first project was a $59,000 project with JLL on a company that Keith had done a tremendous amount of business with for all the years back in the 80s and 90s. And we're high-fiving each other now. I want to break out the champagne, get a bottle of bourbon, put it on the table. The 11 of us that started the company are all huddled around together. This is
year one,
April. We've been in business for 4 or 5 months.
Biggest job we ever had.
It was $59,000. We were like killing each other. And this was the days that Keith and I, we bought pickup trucks to start the company. After driving around in Jane's car, she would pick us up in the morning and bring us to work. But we'd go knock on doors and create opportunity, and then 2 of our first 11 employees would take our trucks afterwards and go down to the supply shop and get the stuff and go do the maintenance work. And that's what we did for a number of the first months. But our first job was $59,000. We bring it back. We're all having a good time doing this. And the next day, I'm reading the contract, going down through. It needs a $5 million umbrella program. The cost of that is $55,000. The project was $59,000. Yeah, exactly. The look on your face was, oh my gosh, what are we going to do about this? What do? We turned that project into hundreds of thousands of dollars because we did what we said we were going to do. We kept the high integrity.
Did all the work.
We still have that client today. And so it's you look at adversity. It's like when someone says no to you, and I know from all of the training that I've been around in you, no is a question. It's not an answer. And so when we look at adversity, it's an opportunity. It's not a dead end. It's not a wall. And there's story after story that I can tell you and your listeners about things that we've done on both of us.
Don't talk about the metal roof.
No, we're not even talking about the metal roof. But there are stories that define us, and they build the character of us. And you can see it in our employees too, where somebody has hit adversity personally or professionally, or they have a family member doing it, and whether we jump in and take care of it, or we show them an opportunity to be able to do it, and we're there by their side, and we walk hand in hand with them. It has just built the company of a can-do company, not a cannot company, and it's a how-to company instead of the doors closed company. So very proud of that accomplishment with our team.
Yeah, you can go around the halls and you can talk to our people, and they will tell you how a coworker helped them out in a time of need at home for something and it came from how we opened these doors. They said, you're going to teach everybody here to treat you like you want to be treated. And so it's pretty strong. It's almost embarrassing how much our people care. And I say that with a lot of love because it's what we are. But our people, I mean, to a person, are good, solid people. I mean, there's the people that leave want to come back. And so it's, you can't please everybody, but when you have a culture like we've created and a family atmosphere like we've created, it makes you be able to go home at night and feel good about what you do, So it's, and it makes us successful. We don't travel. We're doing 67 million this year in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, which is like a 100-mile radius from our office. Not many people do that. So we're well known, we're well branded in the Metroplex. And but it's taken a while to get there. Yeah, we've only been around 18 years. So that's, I walk into meetings and I'm almost embarrassed when they go, oh, wow, who this is who you guys are. And the respect we get in the industry, and that's because of what we do. We do what we say we're going to do, and if we make a mistake, we fix it as fast as we can, and we move on. And we're a service company, so that's what our job is.
Yeah. Love that. So good. I'm getting really inspired just spending time with you guys in this way. And I hope our listeners are too. A couple of things that I just want to comment on and observe is I love the open-mindedness and out-of-the-box thinking you guys have here in your company. You're always open-minded. Like I've never heard Steve and Keith shut down an idea like that they weren't at least going to give it a listen. Talk about that because I think that that's something that I think I struggle with because part of why I'm successful and I have so much to do, and you guys are way more successful in your business than me. But part of that is like I say, oh my mind, let me close my mind because of lack of focus, or I gotta execute what I already said yes to. But you guys always find a way to get things done, but also be open and think out of the box and let this out of the box. Like every tech company that's doing anything in commercial roofing knows you by name, has your cell phone number, and cares about your opinion. Like it's just how does that happen? Where you guys still have like, why is that important, and why do you do that? Where you have openness to things, you're open minded, and then that also turns into industry serving, right? You're open minded, you're open to the industry, you're present. What's the motivation to continue to do that? Like, how do you make time for that? And maybe give us a story of why that served you well.
I just want to say that we get in trouble from our staff, and I promise you that there are people. It starts with Jane from our CFO standpoint from day one, and it goes all the way through all of our leadership that's out there now, including Jennifer Barker, who manages you and I now on our schedules. Is that they call it squirreling. Where's Steve and Keith going now? They're going left and they're going right. They're doing that kind of stuff. But I think that we've learned that if we're not open to hear what's out there, we keep doing the same stuff and you'll continue to get the same results. So you have to stop. You have to pause because business is at the speed of light today. And you have to at least hear and see what's there and not discount it on face value. You really have to just be open to seeing what's there. We're from the baby boomer industry in that world. I mean, that's just us. That's our generation. And we have 22 to 40-year-olds that blow us away. Not that the 40s to 65s don't blow us away too, but the point being is how sharp they are and how intuitive and quick to get their information and care. So if we're not paying attention to what's happening in the industry, if we're not listening to what people are telling us, and I hope all those people that call us squirreling are hearing what we're saying right now. You've got to be open to see what's there because your competitor can get it and can pass you by like that.
Yes. When I got into this industry in 1980, there was no technology. There was no tech at all. It was a time when there was not a roof warranty. And so I always thought, and I didn't think a whole lot of the roofing industry as a whole. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be doing this. Well, as I becoming an owner shortly thereafter, I owned it. I thought, you know what? I'm going to learn everything there is to know, and I'm going to find a way to make it better every day. Every day there's going to be something out there that's going to pop up. And you know what? We're going to look at it because it might be better than what we have, and it's going to make us grow keep climbing that ladder to be great. And I don't think that's probably my biggest fault is we're never going to be good enough. It's just, we can't, there's no stopping that. And so we look at everything. You talked about softwares. Yes, we do. I probably have bought every software as a team here. We bought every software known.
We've tried it.
And it's sitting on the shelf, because the other guy was better. It was a step ahead. And so we push our team in that way. And our team, these young guys are so tech savvy and so beyond what I started with. It's really cool to have them see the drive that those people have today. They want to make it better, more efficient, faster, and still keep our core values in place. And that is so cool to get back and watch them and grow now. Our team is growing every day. And we try and give them back all the time. We try and give them educational tools. But it's cool.
We were open. I guess we were a corporation. We weren't open yet. This was like we were our first 10 or 15 days in the business. And Ronnie McLaughlin and Sarah McLaughlin and Matt Kelly from Empire called us up. And just wanted to have a chat with us because they had heard that we had started our own company and we had left our previous company and things like that. And they were so open.
Yeah.
brought us to their place, showed us what they were doing, showed
Wow.
us some do's and don'ts of now that you're starting your own business, you have your own whiteboard and you don't have one stick of equipment, not one roll of material, you don't have anything. What would you do? And it really opened our eyes to think about, wow, look how open these people are. And so every step along the way since then, we've had hundreds of contractors on our campus come in and see what we've done, because we've been blessed enough with a game plan of being 6, 8, and $10 million the first 3 years in business, and blowing that out of the water the first 3 years. It kind of gave us a name, and people are like, who are these guys? What are they doing? And so we just made a decision we were going to be open to anybody that wanted to know anything about what we're doing. And if there's something out there, we want to know about it.
I was labeled Jet when I was in college because I traveled from Denton, which is about an hour and 15 minutes north of the Metroplex, and I worked downtown Dallas. And I was labeled Jet, and it's kind of stuck with me because I have one speed, and it's we go. If you're here, you're going to go. There's not going to be a slouch. You're going to be part of the team, and you've got a commitment to this team to not let your coworker down in any manner. And so we pushed that pretty hard.
In the 22 years we've been together, you've never changed.
I can't.
So I know, but it doesn't change with age. I'm saying, some people, it doesn't come with success or wealth or satisfaction or expansion of family or anything. It is just a core competency, and yours is go 70 miles an hour in a school zone. But you stop and hear what's coming around you. But it is a go type scenario, and so you got to have balance. And so we balance each other out with Jane. Hey boys, remember it costs $0.25 to grow, so let's make sure we do that, and we push her and she slows us down, and it works
Every day.
Yeah, it's so cool. I love it. Jet. I'm gonna keep that in my pocket for you, Keith. Like that. Thanks for telling me. It's beautiful. It's great. One thing I know about you guys, like in particular, Steve, your background wasn't roofing like Keith's was or Jet's was in terms of the commercial roofing industry. You came from, forgive me, I might be butchering this, but you're selling apparel and brands. You're representing
sports licensed products.
Sports licensed products. So you're tuning into the power of Nike or the power of Adidas. Like you brought in, to me, I think, a different appreciation for the brand into this business that I don't think other people have spent as much time on. And you've done things with the brand that's look, what I'm saying is I'm commenting around the way your architectural design around where the brand goes and what the brand means. And obviously Keith is with you and Jane, and they would echo and amen everything. But I suspect that your industry experience is what you brought into this, is what's kind of been part of the cataclysmic nature of the brand, right? Can you talk about that?
I think when you're growing up as a kid or you're going through college and you're trying to think of what the hell you want to do in your life. I always wanted to be a head coach, or I wanted to be a sportscaster, and so I've always associated myself with sports. Back in my Miami Dolphins are my favorite team, but it's not because of the Dolphins today that just got a fine for what they're doing. It's for the Don Shula's and the Nick Bonacanis and the Bob Greaseys and the Jim Kicks and that Jake Scotts and that whole world of man's man football. I mean, back in the 70s, it seems like that's what it was. And that's what I relate to. So I came from the sports licensed product business, starting off doing actually Hawaiian Tropic was the first brand that I was connected to. Huge brand in the 70s and 80s. And then I got involved with being a manufacturer's rep, and then saw my rep agency and got involved in actually being a manufacturer and distributing, and ended up out here in Dallas working for the Stallbacks, who had a computer accessory company with sports logos on it. So they were doing a Dell backpack program that had Cowboy logos, or would have Texas Tech or Miami Dolphins, or whatever it might be. And came out here. They went from distribution to just-in-time manufacturing. We sold the company. Ended up working with Keith at the previous company we were at, and now we have our own company. The idea behind it is if you co-brand with somebody that's bigger than you, it elevates you to their level. So the idea that when we built Kpost and that idea, we had a clean whiteboard. What do you want to do? I said, I want our company to be a football team. I wanted to have offense that brought in the revenue. I wanted to have defense that installed the roofs, and I want to have special teams that supported everything. And by the way, Jane said she wanted concessions and parking.
And surely.
And she only wanted it to be cash. So we built our company that way, and I actually got an opportunity to be a head coach. And as we affiliated ourselves with arenas in the marketplace, and we did the coating on Old Texas Stadium, then we were very fortunate to be able to, a company that was 3 years old, to be able to get at the time, Cowboy Stadium that has turned into AT&T Stadium. We had to affiliate our company with somebody, because the reason the company's name is Kpost Company, and we market ourselves as Kpost Roofing and Waterproofing, is because Keith has a stellar reputation in our marketplace for building envelope. When we started our company, even at the old company, people would come to him and say, you don't have this job, but X, and whether it be a general contractor or a building asset person or a developer, whoever it might be. So when we came over here, Jay and I kept saying to him, you have to name the company after yourself. And he's saying, oh, no, I want to be best. I want to be superior. I want to be this. I want to be that. We're like, no, we have to do this. So it was one of those times as a partner, I was able to convince him that, hey, look, let's be you. And as embarrassed as he was for a number of years, today, if you were to go out in the marketplace and talk about safety, quality, value, Kpost is synonymous with that. And we'd like set a standard for how you should do business. And we built our company with the capacity to be able to do that. So getting Cowboy Stadium and getting Texas Stadium made our company from being 3 years old to 10 years old. Boom. We took that information, and I went to the sports networks and to the marketing side of the business and started branding us as a sports roofer. Well, we got a little bit crazy, and Keith got a phone call one day from a friend of his who, when Keith, in the early days of our company, still coached his kids and various soccer teams for that. And this marketing executive for the Cowboys happened to be one of the kids that his kid was one of the Keith coached, and said, hey, look, you got to do something with Little, because I can't have all this guerrilla marketing and he's not paying a licensing fee. And I don't even know if I can get you suckers licensed to begin with. You're only X amount of years old in this scenario, because what most people don't know is that with NFL licensing, it's harder to get qualified for that than it is to get surety credit for your company. And surety credit's harder to get bank credit. But sure enough, we passed, which was a lot of background checks, got licensed, which people probably don't know. They just think you write a check to Gene and Jerry Jones and you become a licensee, and it's not that way at all. So we became the roofing and waterproofing company of the Dallas Cowboys. And as we sit here today, we have now started the last professional stadium in town by re-roofing the American Airlines Center, the home of the Mavericks and the Stars. You may recall a NBA championship playoff scene where Mark Cuban had his hands in his face. Well, we want Mark Cuban to have a big smile on his face starting in October when the Mavs come back. So we're renovating that roof right now, and it's going to be tight as a drum.
And not to mention the Rangers' new build. You guys did that one.
Oh.
And the soccer stadium.
Globe Life Field and FC Dallas.
Yeah.
So we are the only. I saw McKay Daniels the other day. We were working on a pro certification program for the NRCA with IB Roof Systems and Benchmark. They were down in Dallas for a meeting, and McKay told me that he's asked around, and we are the only roofing contractor in the country that has completed work on all of the pro teams in their market.
That's amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
That's so awesome. And as a sports guy, I mean, I think but the power of affiliated marketing and branding and co-branding, you guys have a savvy for optics that most roofers don't even have a familiarization with, right? So you guys you're bringing that together. So I just love what you guys have accomplished, and what I admire the most is y'all's partnership and the marriage of the partnership and the commitment to each other, and how you never because I personally have not had a partner until a year ago. And then I worked as an employee for 4.5 years, but it felt like a partnership because of how deep our collaboration was. But I so admire how you guys don't let negativity stay. You just move on, foot on the gas. Let's move forward. Yesterday's behind us. Today and tomorrow is what matters. What can we learn? How can we be creative? How can we be optimistic? How can we help the industry and be the first to see everything? And hey, we'll help you guys, but you got to tell us first. As an exchange. We want to know, and because you're like bulldogs. I smell it. I feel it. It's like you're sniffing around. You're like, how can we be better? Yeah, 67 million, whatever. We need to be next 26. I'm embarrassed. How do we get to 11? How do we get to 10? Just sniffing and continuing to celebrate success. And I bet that's $59,000 with a $55,000 cost that was a champagne bottle that turned into, oh crap, I bet you've had hundreds of champagne bottles and then celebration moments, and then a bunch of oh craps that turned into opportunities that then turned into a celebration moment over the years. So I just really admire.
Let's hope that hundreds of champagne bottles have turned into no more than 10 oh craps. But a couple points, Ryan, that you're making. We're coming up on our 25th anniversary, and I'm thinking I need a new ring or something.
You like jewelry? You should get you one.
Right, exactly. Ryan, I think that something that hasn't been said is the word respect. I think that goes a long way, not just in a marriage, but in a relationship. And when we started our company with our first 11 employees, and we're sitting around a table, probably no bigger than this, and we're all piled on top of each other, and we're probably eating pizza from Domino's. And it's like, what's the one thing that's going to separate us and make our company to be sustainable? And I think one of those words is respect.
Yeah,
because our Latino, we have 90% Latinos that work for us. And a lot of people in business have a tendency to make not respect their workforce. They're just a necessary evil. A lot of people that are in business don't respect generations of experience. We have a gentleman that's on our staff that's been with us over a decade, and he turned 73 this year, and had open heart surgery. That we were there every step of the way with him. And he's got, hey man, I got another 20 years in me. Let's take this thing and let's make it rock and roll. We have Renee Bales that works with us, that has gone from being an executive assistant to a vice president of risk and brand, and worked that for a number of years. And now in part of her growth, she's gone to vice president of service, and she's preparing herself now. She manages 70 people and a P&L of $8.5 million. But she's also doing all of this, raising 3 kids, and went up the chairs of National Women in Roofing. And so the passion and commitment is there, and that optimism is there, but the success doesn't come without respect. And so one of our greatest traits is respecting each other and respecting the people that we have. And although we push and although we're passionate, we believe that we understand your space and try to give you that space to work from.
That's really good. It's a lot of gold there, a lot of value, and lots of people need to just sink in and reflect and ask the question, are we being respectful to everybody, and giving them the space and respecting them. I always, feel respected by you, always feel valued no matter what. You always do that. And I would imagine, when you're leading and you're a high powered type A competitive person, how good that feels for an employee to not be like, oh crap, Steve and Keith, like I'm intimidated because they're leading in such a strong way, but then to feel respected, it almost feels like an empowerment rather than I should be nervous around these guys, or I should, and then it's not the opposite effect, which is I feel so safe that I don't respect it. I think the respect in turn to you is what you receive, which ultimately is what's going to get results. I mean, everybody wants to feel loved and stuff, but if no one's getting things done either, we're not in business. So I love that word respect. It's something that goes, you lead with it and then it returns back. And it's pretty powerful. It's really good.
I think it's sensibility too, don't you think?
Yeah, our doors are open. We allow anybody in our company to come through the front door and go get a soda in the refrigerator, get a candy bar at the front desk. I mean, it's an open policy for them. So we're very respectful. Every day I make it a point to go around. We have 4 buildings on campus. And I walk the halls and I shake people's hand. I ask them how they're doing, how their family's doing. I may know if somebody's ill or somebody had a baby or something. I make sure I show them that I really do care about them.
You do a great job of that.
And that's what I am. I mean, I'm a little bit driven, but I also care about people.
And I think that we need to recognize that Jane came to us and said that we need to give back more.
Mm-hmm.
So she created Kpost Charities. And so every year we're giving out 2,500 backpacks. We're involved with the Salvation Army, with Easter Seals. We're doing things in KPR where Matt and Renee were involved in making sure we give a roof away every year to a family that needs it.
24-hour club. We put a roof on their building.
Right, the 24-hour club of men and women with addiction issues. And we got involved and partnered with a couple of our general contractors and 6-figure contribution of not just dollars, but sweat equity for our people to do that.
We had 75 people there.
And there's story after story after story, but it's all, Ryan, it's all like a jigsaw puzzle that you're putting it together, or it's an erector set that each piece touches each piece, and not any one piece stands out because it all works as a team.
We don't think about that. You know, that's part of life. You know, take care of people. I mean, you know, give back. We've been very, very fortunate. We work hard, but we've been very fortunate. So when somebody asks, there's always a yes there on the end.
Somehow, some way, we figure it out. Or show them how to do it, which is also a responsibility you have. It's not just to be a charity to give, or it can't be the bank of Kpost, but if you can help people navigate life, they come to us, they come to work here to create compensation for themselves to take care of their family. And we need to help them and be open to them to help them navigate that world.
Love that. So a few more things I want to just, as we're wrapping up here, this has been amazing. Love hearing this time with you guys. I love hearing the content from your business and your life. A couple of things. You guys are going to be at the Transform Conference in Dallas. Looking forward to you guys being there. And people, if they're listening, they can register. Go to thetransformconference.com, sign up. It should be somewhere between 200, 300 people there. And so it's not going to be massive. It's not going to be too small, too big. You should be able to walk right up to our speakers and shake hands and connect and ask a million questions and build a connection there. So love that.
Ryan, I love what you did in Orlando last year when you were doing one of these conferences, where the intimacy that you had of the speakers being able to spend some serious quality time with the attendees that were there. It wasn't, I've been involved in the industry and I go to a lot of these and I speak to a number of them. But the intimacy that you demonstrated in Orlando, wow. And the conference that you guys put together this year, first of all, how the hell did you get the Four Seasons in Las Colinas? That is like one of the most exclusive hotels in the Metroplex.
I don't know. I maybe you had something to do with it. Maybe.
No, I had nothing to do with it. You and Adam, all of a sudden, when you came up with this idea of what you were doing and I just want to know how you got it executed. But more importantly, how the hell did you get the price that you're able to offer back to everybody else in the marketplace? And then you're running all these promotions. Hey, if you sign up before X date, I'll give you another $100 off.
Well, it's one of those things where we want to do what's right. We want to make sure that we give people a real opportunity to experience what we're creating. We're a remote company, so we have people all over the place. This is a reason to pour into our team and give everybody who doesn't really know us a real chance to get connected to us. And so, and we're not, I'm just first class in everything I try to do, and then we fall short and we want to get better. But so this is a year we want to put our stake in the ground. And so, we're just motivated to make it happen for the industry and start the relationship out with those who don't know us at a great level. So that's why we're pushing for it. We want to be world class.
I love the fact that you brought in people from outside the industry. Okay, that's a love of mine, of having different people that have successes in other industries, and we elevate the roofing industry. So I love the fact that you did that, and that name, Transform. Wow, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, we want to. People want to come in to something and come out different, better. So whether it's with their business, their sales, their leadership, their personal life, we want to see people grow, and I think that we share that same heart of you care about people, and if people aren't growing, and we want to make a change there. So really glad that you guys are coming, and love our time spent together. So the last question is, what would you say to somebody who, has been in business for a few years, they aspire to be, we could probably put a bow on all this of what you shared. There's so many takeaways, but what would you say to a single, owner, or maybe he's got a partner or two like you guys, if they're staring at each other, listening to this podcast, or driving to dinner, and they're just like, wow, what's the last thing you would want to say to them if you could, not knowing their entire situation? What would you say to them that would, give them some powerful wisdom and gold, from you guys today?
Look at everything as an opportunity, whether it's a no or it's a yes, but always be positive. I mean, you can decide to have a negative attitude, or you can decide to have a positive attitude. We're a little bit on the top side, and I think that's helped us. We never look down. We always look up. So we never look at a situation that can't be done. We don't fail too many times. So it helps.
I think we can revert back to what our parents taught us. I try to use this as the path of life that I walk on. Is that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and so when you're communicating with your partner, listen and talk and listen to what your partner is really telling you, and don't try to make your point until you've actually heard. Stephen Covey said, "Beginning with the end in mind," and if you take these thought processes, seek to understand, then be understood. I mean, you take some of these points, it really all goes back to what our parents tried to teach us, and do unto others as you would be done upon. That's the philosophy that we have. I mean, it gets frustrating, don't get me wrong. And so when these partners that you're talking about are driving, doesn't mean that you don't talk to each other for 30 seconds, or you got some thoughts that you really just don't want to blow up the world. But yeah, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use it.
Yeah, so good. And I'll leave with this. Kpost is always looking for really, really, really talented people. So they have an empowering culture there. If you're listening to this and you want to hear just about their business, or working with them, or knowing somebody who's in their network that's in a different part of the country, that if you're an employee type, you're not an owner, and you want to listen, kind of lean into some other companies like this, or there's some particular, you should definitely reach out. So thank you guys so much for this time. I can't wait to publish this, both video and on our podcast platforms that it's on. So
this is good, Ryan. We're both on LinkedIn. So we have a lot of people that reach out to us starting there. And so don't hesitate to reach out to us. Anything we do to help.
Yeah. Thank you.
And it's Keith Post, not Keith the Jet Post. And it's Steve Little, right?
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that, Ryan. I should have never told you.
We'll give you my nickname next time.
Oh, I need to hear that one. Okay. All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much.